जय श्री माताजी। ऑनलाइन उपस्थित सभी साधकों का हम स्वागत करते हैं। सर्वप्रथम सामूहिकता में कुंडलिनी चढ़ाकर बंधन लेंगे। तीन महामंत्र और श्री गणेश मंत्र का उच्चारण करेंगे।
त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री महालक्ष्मी महासरस्वती
लक्ष्य केंद्रित करेंगे हमारे सहस्त्रार पर। श्री माताजी, कृपावंत होकर हमें निर्विचार अवस्था प्रदान कीजिए। इसी अवस्था में हम परम पूज्य श्री माताजी की अमृतवाणी को ग्रहण करेंगे।
I'm very joyous today to see all of you celebrating my birthday, as well as having the national program same day. It's a good combination we have in the month of March. It's regarded as springtime in India, Madhumas. That's what you sing, Madhumas. And as you know, 21st March is the equinox. So it sort of is a balance. And also the center of all the signs you have in the horoscope. So many centers I had to achieve. And also I was born on the Tropic of Cancer as you are on the Tropic of Capricorn. And Earth's rock is on Tropic of Capricorn, just in the center. So many combinations had to be worked out. So the principle of ascent is to be in the center, to be in the balance, to be in the maryadas of the center, to be in the boundaries of the center is the principle. So what happens when we do not keep to the boundaries, to the maryadas? Then we get caught up. If we keep to maryadas, we can never be caught up. Many people say, why have the maryadas? Say we have the maryada, the boundaries of this beautiful ashram here. And somebody is attacking you from all the sides, on all the sides of the void. So if you go out of the void, you get caught up. That's why you have to keep to the boundaries. And to keep to the boundaries is difficult when you have two problems. One is the ego, another is the superego. Now, as in the West, superego is not such a problem. Ego is the problem, and it has very, very subtle implications now. I can see the complicated style of egos we have. One is a gross, like Khomeini style, which is dry, it's obvious, evident, everybody can condemn. That one is the one, either one corrects or gets completely destroyed. But ego, if it is of a stupid person, then he behaves in this manner only, that he doesn't know how to hide his ego in sophistication. But the Western ego is extremely sophisticated. The language, everything is very sophisticated. Like in English language, we'll say, I'm afraid I have to slap you. I'm sorry, I have to kill you. It's such a devious thing, you see. Once you said, I'm sorry, that means you have put a chocolate on top of that, isn't it? It's such a camouflage. Must understand. See, we must face as we are. We cannot be facing something else. But this is exactly what happens with sophistication, that we avoid facing ourselves. Today, though the day is of celebration, so in all humor we should understand what this stupid thing called ego is. In all humor, not in seriousness. But I don't want you to again feel guilty. Now, as I was explaining in the morning, how ego becomes the left Vishuddhi. I mean, even before going to the hall, my attention on the hall, I get a big lump, just painful, horrible, excruciating. I mean, all the time it is there since I have been in the West. Can you imagine? It has never vanished. So this chakra is all the time working. Poor thing is so much now tired, Vishnu Maya's chakra. So what happens really, we should see the physical side of it. It's very important to understand. You see, from childhood, if you are taught in a society like this, where you are an extrovert, you have to achieve something, some success or this and that, then the idea of strength is given to you. That it is weakness to tolerate something. Imagine in Christian nations, that's the best part of it. I am sorry, I will kill you sort of thing. In Christian nation, you see, they have this thing, theory, that it is weakness, that if you tolerate anything, it is a weakness if you get dominated by someone. You can never be successful if you do like that. So unless and until you are possessed, you can never be obedient. This is what it is. Somebody has to possess you, absolutely possess you, like Hitler. Then you can be obedient. Otherwise, everybody has a big ego, as I had told you the story of the garbage cleaner. So everybody has a very, very big ego. Everybody wants to have their own way. And from childhood, you spoil your children too much. You spoil them, completely spoil them. All the time you'll hug them, you'll hold them, you'll do too much. Children get spoiled. Think no end of themselves. And then on top of that, if you tell them that you should not tolerate anything, they become disobedient. So you do not know how to obey others in any way. Ego does not know how to obey because that is weakness. Obedience is weakness. So now, this poor thing, ego, has a limited thing. That is, this ego has a balloon which is limited. But it bursts when you get your paralysis and all those things. It does burst. But it is flexible also. So when the ego starts getting too much on top of the superego, then the superego can go up to a point. It is also there. So to get rid of the ego, people take drinks, drugs, just to push it back. So increase the ego, increase the superego. So the ego comes down. So you are playing between, then you have a hangover. Then it goes on like this, you see, works out. This is the modern solution they find for ego. All right. Otherwise, ego is too much. So when somebody says something to you, instead of facing up to it, supposing you find you have not been able to say, find a glass for me, a simple thing, like take it. You sulk. Why? Why should you sulk for that? Because there's another place where the ego can go is when you come down. You see, here it crosses at Vishuddhi. So when it is suppressed from the other side, it goes into that Vishuddhi. So then you get the left Vishuddhi. It is nothing but pure ego, believe me, it's pure ego. Because it has no other way to get in, it goes there. And that's how you sulk and think. Think, so you get more ego, you fill up your left side and you sulk. You never face. Now, the practical way, the central path, is established by being in reality. Now, as a matter of habit you must develop. Supposing something has gone wrong, tell yourself, yes, it has gone wrong because I have done the mistake, all right. Why did I do the mistake? Because of this, so next time no. But very easy, avoid everything, come to this and enjoy your ego feeling sad. It's an indulgence. And others also feel, oh, he's felt, I'm sorry, I've killed you, you see. He feels sorry for it. Yes, I've seen it is gone so far in the minds of the Western people that there are laws which really forgive people who should never be forgiven. You know. They also try to forgive people because of this left nonsensical Vishuddhi, which indulges into the left side. You feel sympathy for such people who should not have been forgiven. Like this one fellow who has murdered so many people, put them into gas chambers. This thing is arrested now, is a liability, big liability, as a prisoner kept somewhere because they had to keep everything very much closed and this and that. So to maintain such a dog there was very difficult for English people. But they are maintaining this one prisoner. I have forgotten his name, horrible fellow, whosoever it is. Now he has been there, he's old, this thing, let him die there. What is there to have pity? Just hang him out and finish. He has killed so many people. No, but how can you do that? You must keep this doggy there. Though he is consuming the money of all the people, though he has killed thousands and thousands and thousands in gas chamber, he's been such a horrid fellow, there should be no sympathy in the divine laws, he would be finished in no time. He's dissipating every day, but even now I read articles in sympathy with him. Now what is he going to do wrong? Why not leave him alone? This is how you play into the hands of horrible people by your left Vishuddhi, first of all. So this left Vishuddhi is nothing but purely ego. And then you bend your head like that, you walk like that. Now with this left Vishuddhi, though you have many physical problems, but the worst of all will be lunacy. The other day, somebody told me that at the age of 40 years now in America, people are suddenly becoming lunatic. And it's a very big sickness, just like they have it in that horrible disease called AIDS. In that way it is spreading. Now I must tell you as your mother very clearly that this is the part this horrible left Vishuddhi plays. Do not indulge into it. If you have an ego, that's why it's left Vishuddhi, face up to yourself. Like today Warren's idea was that he came and told me that in India when we go, we think that the people, whatever we suggest, first start with no. So you see, actually that no is because we brought up a different way, see, to face up to it. We have brought up, that's why Indians are never guilty. If they are guilty, know that they are westernized. They are never guilty. So now, at that time, when they say no to something, 99%, not the people who are in the cities, they are same style of heads, because you have blessed them nicely. But in the villages, you see, they tell themselves, no, how I could have done it? All right, if I have done it, I better correct it. No, it starts with no. But a Western person might hear this no, he'll think, oh, he's just punching my ego. Because still that ego is there to dominate others. Still this ego thinks they are much better organizers. Still this one thinks that they are cleaner people than others. They are higher people than others. All this ego thinks like that, see, and builds you up. And you live on top, you see, like a balloon or a ring that is bloated, you keep on the surface. And that's why I don't want the air to get out, because you'll sink into yourself. So one lives on that, and you start thinking you know it better. Anybody says anything to you, one feels hurt, again left Vishuddhi. If mother says anything, again left Vishuddhi. So you have already made a pouch there, being in the West. We should face as we are. Now that pouch is there. So anything I say, now even if I am saying now, you should not feel guilty. Let's say, not feel guilty. Be on your spirit. So you see yourself and you can clear out. If you see from your spirit's angle, you clear out that which you have accumulated since long. Left Vishuddhi is the problem today of the West, I tell you. All these problems are coming from left Vishuddhi, but which is not in no way is that they are subdued. On the contrary, any moment, this left Vishuddhi can blow in again into the ego. You see, I have seen this in the West, very common. People are walking straight forward, everything is all right. Even in the cities of India we have seen it. You make them into trustees, suddenly they jump on the horse. I said, from where did they jump in the horse? From where this ego has come? That was all stored up here. You see, as soon as they become trustees, the whole thing comes back. And they're sitting like John Gilpin on a horse going fast. And I start looking at them, where are they going? They were just there, disappeared. Vanishing tricks. Just can't understand why it happens. But after penetrating into the problems, because I see just going to the hall, you get them left to shit. But look at the children. You see, from childhood, you don't teach them all the time say, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Our Parsis in India have very much affectation from me, very much. So in the morning, we never want to see a Parsi, because early in the morning, he'll come and he starts saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. This is inauspicious. Maaf karo, you see. People say, Baba, you come in the afternoon. This is not good. Morning time, don't start with this. We don't say like that. It's inauspicious. You open the door, somebody standing with maaf karo, for what? What have I done? What have you done that you are saying like this all the time in an apologetic mood? You see, for what? You see, you don't want to see an apologetic face in the morning time, do you? Something pleasant, nice, coming to greet you here. They say, maaf karo, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. It's a very common thing that we don't want to see a Parsi in the morning. The reason is this. You see, if you see them in the morning, the whole day you are in a bad state. We have seen somebody very apologetic. But it is not apology. They are extremely egoistical people. If you study their character, they are very egoistical. So, this one has to understand that when we start dealing with our ego, we must directly deal with it. We are not ego, we are the spirit. Directly. Oh, I see. So, it was wrong, so it was done by not me, by this body. Now, come along. No, better be all right. You tell yourself. No, better be all right. That's how we are going to deal with it. Because, you see, this is what is frightening me, is this left Vishuddhi. Because when I thought of this disease, my attention went to left Vishuddhi. Imagine people become lunatic. And most of the egoistical people, I find, become stupid because of that. They are stupid, they behave stupidly. And the egoistical people only take to drugs and to drink so much because they can stand it. Supposing a person who is very superego, supposing a man who is possessed takes to drinks, he'll die very soon. He won't live because he's thrown more, that's it. But the egoistical people can stand. I mean, a person who is not egoistical, like an Indian, if he takes a vodka, he'll be blown off the shores. Absolutely nowhere to be found, lost. Even in lost and found, he won't be there. But it's that ego of yours that has resistance for going for the superego, and that's how you manage it. You see, that's why people can drink. It has nothing to do with the cold weather or anything. It's more your ego. Now, when you call also left-sided, sometimes you make a big mistake. You are not. You live with that myth because that's how you can excuse your ego. Because basically Western people are egoistical, we must accept this fact. We are not Western people. We belong to the realm of God. So don't feel guilty. You are no more Western. To me, you are neither Indians, nor English, nor Australians. You are my children. But some of these things are hanging around. So you be careful. What I am telling you, this will happen to all of you in a little way, but not much. So be careful. It is outside the maryadas, where you little bit get out, you find this. So those who think also who are left-sided are only possessed people. Because they are possessed, that's why they become left-sided, otherwise they are not. By temperament they are not. Because there is no tradition, there is no conditioning accepted, nothing, there has been no conditioning on them of any kind. So there are hardly to be found any tamasikas in the West. Hardly to be found. So what do we have? The people who are egoistical but get possessed. So these possessions take charge of your ego and they work through your ego. So they are much more dangerous than the ordinary tamasikas. It's an ordinary tamasika who even gets possessed. He dies very soon. Otherwise he troubles himself. He gets body pains. He gets all those troubles himself. But when a person who is egoistical is also possessed, then he becomes a troublesome person. In India, if people drink, you will be surprised, they become very nice people, extremely mild, very quiet, very good. I mean, some women told me we want them to drink because they are better. But not here, they become violent. Why? Because there is already the base for the ego, and these fellows who jump in from the left side or right side, whatever it is, take over the ego. And they work through the ego then. So such people become cruel, assertive. I mean, all Germans were dealt like that. They were all possessed by supraconscious brutes. And they all behaved in this atrocious manner. Imagine any human being killing millions of people with the gas chamber. Can you think of it? I mean, you can't even say a little chicken being cut in your presence. How can you see so many people just there being gassed before you, trying to get out of the gas chambers? And they were all transparent so you could see them. See the cruelty to which they could go. How? They were possessed, and possessed by egoistical temperament. So these youths also use their ego and did it. So we are in the center. We are the people who have ascended to God's level. We have no business to have left Vishuddhi on any point. We have no ego. Where is the ego? It's finished. Where is the superego? Finished. So if there is even a lurking thing of that, you just face up to it. Why do you feel guilty? For what? Nonsense. And that's how you get rid of it. Because I have seen with Sahajogis also, suddenly their nose will blow out, their eyes will come out, suddenly they'll talk like this, and I get a fright. I said, what's the matter? He was a normal person, why is he talking like this now? The reason is that hidden ego suddenly jumps up and shows. It's with many Indians also. Those who are city dwellers are horribly egoistical. You have blessed them as I told you, so they also behave in the same manner. But because there is tradition of keeping in the center in any country, like China has the same, I have seen China has the same. I haven't seen they ever say, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And they don't even discuss. Say Russians have been so bad to them. It's all right. We tell them, we ask them, why did you cut off from the Russians? Forget it. They never criticize. Sit down and criticize they did like this, or sulk about it, or think about nothing. Like Indians now, you will be surprised. We have a law that we are not supposed to make any films against the English. Can you imagine? Because they left our country English. Even Shivaji's pictures are not allowed because maybe it will show that the Muslims are bad. To that extent we go. Because forget it. When you start thinking about that person, your ego gets hit. It is an ego which is hurt. Now you can blow this balloon by two methods. Perhaps you know that. By blowing into it or removing all the air from outside. Or even by heating. So the hurt ego is where the outside is getting vacated and the balloon is increasing. And the other ego, pumped up ego, is that when the balloon is filled with that air. Both things are just the same. I mean, the result is the same, whether you do it this way or that way. So, once you understand the physical manifestation of this, not only that you develop all these diseases, but also develop a thing called lunacy at a very, very young age, because you don't know how to cope with yourself. So the best way is to, if you have done something, forgive yourself at that point. I forgive myself at this point, all right. And that, this was done because of this, all right. So I could not have done this. Never, I am not going to do it again. Just say like that. Just absolutely neutralize. Unless and until you neutralize it, you again store it up there. That's the point. Secondly, I have to tell you that the women in the West have changed their styles, which is very, very dangerous for their society. Because they have also taken to the egoistical ways of men. So if men have gone, say, 10 feet, they have run after them again about, say, 8 feet and pulled back men even to go further than them. Now this is completely crossing your egos, because women do not have such possibility of egos normally. So competing men in ego, what you did, you have lost your complete maryadas of a woman. There's no maryada of a woman. Man has a maryada of a man. If a man starts behaving like a woman, he is not a man. In the same way, the women, if they start behaving like men, then they are no more women. They have lost their maryadas, they are out, so they get possessed. And that's why women, when they are egoistical, they become horrid. Their faces become horrid, they look horrid, their whole behavior is horrid. They can become dry like bean sticks, you see, and could be so hard as to hit you like an iron rod. They say the lady with the iron rod in her hand. All this happens because we have a maryada. We are the style as we are. If it's a rose, it's a rose. Be happy that you are a flower of rose. Now the rose wants to become the thorn. So we lose all our maryadas. Today I will be speaking to you before we start this here, when the people are coming, before that, to the ladies and tell them what's gone wrong with them. And that is how you must know that the plight of the West is not by men but by women. Women have ruined the society of Western society. It's the Indian women who have kept the society intact. All my really thanks to their solid behavior towards life. It is the women of this country who have ruined all that was so delicate, emotional, beautiful, love, affection, compassion. Women are there to give joy and happiness and emotional security to the whole society. While they take over, do this, give that, do that. Even the husbands have become just like servants in the house. You haven't done the cleaning properly, you haven't cleaned the kitchen properly. I went to England, I was surprised, all kitchen cleaning and all that is so well done in England. You see, you have everything for cleaning this, cleaning that. I said, why it has happened? It's the men, you see, they had to do it, so they found out all the ways and methods. Has to be sparkling, all right. Sparkling you want, I'll get you such a thing that if you put in your hand will burn. All the acid is put everywhere. With a big glove in the hand, put it everywhere, right? And everything gets on. Then the children, you see, suffer. Because that's the job of a gardener. Beautiful things that are born, to be looked after with that kindness. But you overindulge into your children in the beginning. A mother is like a gardener. She has to prune also. She has to cut also. So the growth is all right. If your child is spoiled, you are no good a mother, useless you are. But you groom your husband, not your children. Just the other way around. Because ego is towards your husband, all the time grooming. Sit here, go there, what this, money, business, give me all the money, I keep all the money, everything. Now one may say that the law is such. If the law is stupid, the Sahajoginis should not take to such a law. That law has ruined you all, I tell you. Because this is such an important part of life. It is such an important area of life that it should not have suffered. Where affection, love, kindness, all that is required is missing, then you become people without any meaning. Life is endless. You don't know what to do. That's why the children commit suicide. And then the love should be such that it should be proved. For that you must have wisdom, which also one does not develop, because if you run after your Muladhara chakra, how can you have wisdom? Here men have befooled you completely. Completely they have befooled you. Take it from me. You must keep your wisdom intact. And not only that they have befooled you, but they themselves have stooped down to befool you. So they have their devious methods, they are not straightforward. So, as Sahajogis, we are above all these things. We have reached a state where we are above. We are here for correcting all those things that have gone wrong in the society, because Sahajoga faces towards the society, not towards yourself only. So at this stage we have to understand what we have to do is, first of all, our own understanding should be such. Even now, with all this movement of Sahajoga understanding, women don't realize that they have to be like women. I have seen that. They still, what's wrong? Still go on. And men don't understand that they have to be like men, even after so many. And if they become really like men, women will appreciate them. And if you become really like women, men will appreciate you. You see, it's the opposites that attracts each other. That should be normal. But we live in abnormal way that the men are women and women are men. What do you do now? So it is very important for men to understand now, because I am going to talk to women later on, that they should become like men. They must fix up things. They must take decisions. They must be the one who must do. But that's outward. Actually, it's the source, is the woman. The woman is the potential and man is the kinetic. For example, there is a fan moving. Movement of the fan is the kinetic force, we can say. But the potential force that is within us is the one which is the electricity which is coming from the source, which is higher. The fan that moves or the source. Let the women decide and men understand. But if that source dries out and wants to become the fan, no fan will work. Upside down situation. If you realize you are the source, you are the one who is going to give all the Shakti to men. You will stop behaving like men. It doesn't mean that you cannot go to work, you cannot do, but take to work which is more suitable to women. Like I would not like a woman to have a bus driver's job or a truck driver or wrestler. No, I'm not telling, I'm telling from experience. Once I was traveling, I was a student at that time in Lahore, you see, and I was traveling by train. And at some station, you see, the train stopped in the night. And a lady came, and she said, "Open the door for me." So I said, "It's so crowded, all right, I'll try. And she said, "If you don't open, I can break it." I said, "How can you?" She said, "You don't know who I am?" I said, "Who?" She said, "I'm Hamida Bano." I said, "Who's Hamida Bano?" "The wrestler lady." "Oh, Baba." I said, "Thank God. I'll open." I said, "If you are a wrestler lady, why are you coming in the ladies' department? Why don't you go to the men's? And she pushed the door so violently, she came up, I looked at her, I said, wow, what a person. And she sat down, you see, with the whole her countenance and everything, her gait and state of sitting, everything was so manly like that. She sat down and said, now come along now. Those who want to say, I should not sit here. I said, nobody wants that. Now, madam, you sit comfortably. But we'll have to get somebody from the other compartment to have wrestling. And then she was quiet. And she was really, I saw her, all her muscles so overdeveloped, and she was really looking like, I would say, a western cow, we can say. Like the cows here look like buffaloes, not like cows. Something very funny, I cannot forget that. You see, that experience, I was very young and I was really, I did not, felt like laughing, but I couldn't even laugh. I thought she'll box my... So this is what it is, that we are ending up there, must know that. How far are we going? Are we going to become wrestlers? So this is what it is. One has to learn that it has been there for ages. Ages it has been there. I have seen, I've read books, some books, old books, I've seen some films also, where they have shown, even in olden times, the women used to have broom in their hand, sitting their husband sort of thing. We do have some of them, blessed in India, but there are very, very few women like that. Not a big number. But it may increase, God knows. See? So keep your fingers crossed. But I would say that this is what is happening. So with too much ego of men, which goes into left Shuddhi, they say not, let the women take over. It's all right, let them be satisfied. No more of their aggression. Let them have their own. So they do what they like. Men are not bothered. And they go into their left, this thing. There's no enjoyment of marriage or love. So now we have, yesterday the other marriage, for the benefit of your children, for the goodness of them, all that, take your roles as women and men. Your roles are as women and men, and you will see you'll enjoy it. The quarrel should be on that role. The man wants to do something for you, should say, no. How can you do? That's too much for me. Let me do this work. As I have told you many a times how my husband, when he gets angry, he wants to wash his undershirt, you see, to show he's angry. Or when he's very angry, then he will clean the bathroom. But he does it so badly that I know that he has done. I feel like laughing, but I dare not, because I must keep his spirit on. And then he starts talking in a very, you see, respectable way to everyone. Thou, he calls everyone thou, you see. Thou, he says, thou are like that, thou are like that. So I know now he's really angry for something. But he won't say what is he angry with. See, then we have to find out what is he angry with, and if so, don't feel guilty, correct. And then he finds, you see, there are so many ways of neutralizing the anger. The first thing that happens with ego is the anger. As yesterday you got married, you must know how to neutralize this, because still ego is there. Now to find out how to neutralize the anger of another person is a very beautiful thing, which I have never seen your writers handling, but in India we have many writers who have handled this situation. Now you must find out what are the weak points of your husband, first of all, and of your wife. On what points she get upset. Now the attitude should be, we should not upset her, we should not make her angry, and the another attitude of the wife the same way, much more for the husband. So now what are the soft points on which he really gets upset? Just study, it's very simple. I laugh at it, don't take it seriously, but be careful to avoid that. Now also find out what makes him happy. Like if I'm really, sometimes I never get angry, as you know that, I never get angry. But if I am showing off my anger, just let it be, it's all right, sit down. You understand, Sergio? All right. So, now how to show that, how to neutralize an anger of a person. Say now, supposing I am trying to show, if you put a child in my lap, finished, anger is gone. I cannot show anger with a child on my lap, it's simple. So you must find out, like my husband, you see, if he is angry, supposing, I know him, then if I tell him that, what about getting me a nice sari? Oh, finished, then he is very happy. He's saying, I have done him the greatest favor. See, like that. You see, you must find out what thing pleases your husband, what thing pleases your wife, and neutralize it. And you see, little things like that you must learn. This is the art of living. This is the art of living a Sahajayogi life. The art of living is how with little few things, you see, how manage. Now you must have seen how in my lecture I say quite serious things, but in your bubbles of laughter, it just settles down in your mind. That's how you should do it. Because humor is one of the greatest things that puts the thing through, makes the person understand, and it doesn't harm anyone. That's how things improve. And when you see that you are settled down in peace, that's the first thing a husband-wife must do, is to settle down in peace. Children feel all right. Everyone feels all right. And then gradually let it correct. You have no responsibility of correcting each other. But if you have married somebody who is not a Sahajogini, who is horrid and all that, then the question is very different. But both are Sahajogis, married before me, should be the easiest thing to do. And protect each other. Look after each other. There should be complete confidence. And this is, we have in our country. Really, I must say, our marriage system has something special about it. What happened once I went to Singapore, you'll be surprised, in the early times, I was going to America. And there was one horrible diplomat's wife, she came drunk to the program. And she was asked to get out because she was drunk. So she informed our Prime Minister, Indira Gandhi, that this lady is doing this kind of work, she should not do this, she is a diplomat's wife and she is so highly placed and this and that. So Indira Gandhi, without understanding anything, told one fellow who was Haksar, who was her main person, that you go and tell Mr. Srivastav that this should not be done and she should be brought back. So the minister, you see, getting a message from Indira Gandhi means the death blow has come to the minister that time. So he sent for my husband. And he called him. And he said that we think your wife should be called back and this is what has happened. And she said, why? Why do you want to call her? She doesn't drink, she doesn't smoke. She doesn't do anything wrong. She's the most decent woman. She's very dignified. And she knows what she's doing. She's doing good work for no money at all. She's doing nothing wrong. And if you want, I'll resign, but I'll not call her. And he got a fright of his life. Because if he resigns, who's going to do the job? So capable. Just said, I'll resign. And they were all shocked at it, you see. The way he was confident. And this I came to know through somebody else, himself the minister, who was dead, half dead, with the message from the Prime Minister. See? And he then sent back, he also got to see within himself. He said, I know the lady very well. She's very dignified. She's a very decent lady. She's very dharmic. We shouldn't disturb her. And the fellow Haksar who had sent the message also got a shock, you see, and pushed back the shock to Indira Gandhi. Since then she has never tried to interfere with my work. You'll be surprised. She's never tried to interfere. This is my husband's confidence in my work and understand. That we should have. You must know your wife and know your husband. They cannot do such and such thing. Same about your children. You must have full confidence in them. You must know what they are up to, how far they can. And then this confidence and inner understanding is the one road to peace, love and affection. Complete confidence into each other, wherever they may be. I can say with confidence, you send my daughters anywhere, they'll never take to a dharmic life, nor my son-in-laws, but my own daughters I can tell you. They can never think of a dharmic life, whatever you may try. It should be that confidence within you about your own children.
निशब्द ध्यान में बैठते हैं परम पूज्य श्री माताजी, आपकी परम कृपा में हम सब एक प्रतिभाशाली व्यक्तिमत्व बन जाए। श्री माताजी, आपकी परम कृपा में हम सब आपके श्री विराट स्वरूप के अंग प्रत्यंग बन जाए। अपनी ध्यान धारणा और सामूहिक कार्य की तपश्चर्या से हम श्री आदिशक्ति के एक प्रभावी और प्रभावशाली माध्यम बन जाएं। परम पूज्य श्री माताजी, आज का यह सामूहिक ध्यान हम आपके श्री चरणों पर समर्पित करते हैं। कृपावंत होकर हम सबको और इस संपूर्ण विश्व को आशीर्वादित कीजिए। श्री माँ को प्रणाम करेंगे और सामूहिकता में कुंडलिनी चढ़ाकर बंधन लेंगे। आज का यह ध्यान केंद्र यही संपन्न होता है। जय श्री माता जी।